This is 14307 Brook, Brook, in Redford. So, starting out front, we're going to plant two Mr. Bowling balls, one there, and get a good sized Japanese maple from Rot Brothers and plant it right there. We're also bringing other plants. If she feels like it looks thin, we can bring some of those plants over here. I'll tell you what those other plants are. Oh, and there's going to be black mulch, and we're going to make the beds look nicer, get the weeds out, do whatever you got to do to make this area look nice. You might want to even rake up some of this mulch and add new mulch. It looks pretty old, you know, just take it off the edge or whatever, so that way you can put a top coat and still bring some mulch into the edge. On this side here, we're going to be planting this bed, and we are going to be planting 10 sun perennials. This is about a 15-inch bed or something like that. So ask Brian at Rot Brothers what plants will do good in a 3-inch bed, sun perennial. There's a whole section of sun perennial. That's including dianthus. Will look great in here. If it were up to me, I would plant nothing but dianthus here. If it were up to me, I'd plant nothing but dianthus and fire chief everywhere, and then I wouldn't have to think about plants ever again. Anyways, find 10 sun perennials right here, 1.5 foot. There's tons of them. Get creative. She don't care what ones. She just wants it to look good. 10 of them. Weed this bed and touch it up with some black mulch. Just a top coat. You might have to take some out. You'll have to grade this area starting here, and we're grading this area right here. That's a lot of bullshit clay. We're just going to dig it down a couple inches below the concrete so that they can add their own soil and do an herb garden later. That's all we're doing here. Okay, this mess back here is going to be graded and seeded and strawed. Make sure you remind them when they leave that they have to keep that seed wet. And I insisted that it was not a good idea to seed, and they wanted to seed anyway. So just remind them that seeding is very difficult, and that the only way to get it to grow is to keep it wet, and that there are going to be weeds growing in it as well. And if they want to keep the weeds down, then they got to get out and pick the weeds. And so it's real troublesome. Just reminded them that when they leave. But I'll measure the square footage so you know how much hay to bring. We definitely want to bring a lot of hay. It shouldn't be thin. It should be a thick coat. There's certain square footage per bale, I'm sure, and you can figure it out, or I'll try to figure it out, put it in notes. There's a big pile of clay in here. I don't know if you want to use that throughout the grade. This would be a great job for the rhododendron. And you're probably going to need some topsoil. I'm assuming, let's see, 96, and yeah, we're by the Westland Pinettas, so that's where you'll be going for everything. But it's bumpy as all hell. I'm telling you, rhododendron. Even with all these weeds in here, just rhododendron the weeds, and then have your labor guy behind you raking up all the roots and leaves. It does look low here, but you got that big pile of stuff over there. And then once you get it all level, you're going to have to top dress it with topsoil for the seed. So I'll figure out how much topsoil to bring in. Over here, we're grading this, and we're going to bring in a variety of 10 hostas. Go ahead. They got a ton of different hostas, so pick from 10 different hostas and 10 different 10 total plants. Pick from 5 coral bells and 5 hostas, and it's just going to go in this area here. It's a shaded area. Actually, I think I got the sides mixed up. I think this is the sun area. Sure enough, it is. So do the sun perennials on the... I'll let you know in the notes which side, because I got to figure out which way south is. It's pretty sure behind me. So Whichever area the sun area is, plant the sun perennials there, and whichever area the shade area is, plant the shade area over there. But anyway, it's 10 coral bells, 10 hostas, and black mulch, okay? And this bed needs to be graded to push water that way, because they've got water holding here, and water holding here. And I do believe their sub pump is probably overflowing or something like that. But what we're gonna do is, in the corner there, you're gonna install a catch basin, and it's got to be down at the bottom of the grade, and then you got to make sure the mulch doesn't get in it and stuff like that. And then you're gonna unfortunately have to install a pipe under the sidewalk, and then you're gonna push it down that way. Install the pipe somewhere in the yard where it can pop up and go to the drain. So that'll be that there. Other than that, oh yeah, there's one other thing. As part of the grade, up against this concrete, they want this strip, like one sod cutter wide, all the way down to the end of the sidewalk. You're gonna cut that out, and then if you got to do two, that's okay too. But either way, you're cutting a little bit of this out. I would say 2 strips with the sod cutter, and then you're just grading it. And you're going to grade it against the pavement with topsoil, and then you're going to seed and straw that too. That is the entirety of this job.